The patriarch of the Pawn Stars family has died. Richard Benjamin Harrison, also known as the Old Man, was 77 years old. His grandson Corey posted on Twitter, "Pops," as he called the old man, was such a great grandfather and beloved character by everyone.
Rumors, and in some cases, even death hoaxes. Today, we're looking back at 10 unforgettable members of hardcore Pawn and the tragedies that followed them off-screen.
With more than a decade on the air, the much-loved reality TV show Pawn Stars has faced its share of scandals over the years. With controversies that include legal troubles, public embarrassment, and an arrested cast member, here are the scandals that have rocked Pawn Stars.
Online frenzy in March 2023. A message was posted on Facebook claiming that the 72-year-old Detroit pawnbroker had died. Spread is real like wildfire. And even more shocking, it was shared more than 50,000 times in just 2 days. Fans flooded tribute pages, leaving messages of grief for the man who had built American Jewelry and Loan on Greenfield Road into one of the most famous pawn shops in the country.
Ryan, it was great seeing you and Dina the other day. You know, too bad Dina didn't buy anything, but at least she walked through the door.
For many, it felt like the end of an era. But only a week later, Les himself appeared in a short video filmed inside the Detroit store, shaking his head and declaring with a grin, "As you can see, I'm not dead." The real tragedy wasn't his passing. It was how quickly millions were ready to believe the rumor. But if Les's death hoax shook fans, what shocking twist would strike his family next? Number 9. Seth Gold. Seth Gold, often called the heir to the pawn empire, found himself at the center of grim speculation in late 2021 when a Twitter thread falsely claimed he had died in a car accident near Detroit. Within hours, the rumor picked up traction, reaching thousands of shares and prompting fans of hardcore Pawn to post condolences. The truth, however, was very different. Seth, then 40 years old, was alive and busy running the day-to-day operations of American Jewelry and Loan alongside his father. Seth carried the weight of protecting a business that had been in Detroit since 1978. Balancing national fame with the grind of a high-pressure family business took its toll, and those close to him often spoke about the stress he faced. The tragic passing story wasn't real, but it reflected the intense spotlight Seth has lived under for years. And while Seth faced wild rumors of his own, whose scandal would soon overshadow his? Number 8. Ashley Broad. Ashley Broad, the only daughter of Les and Lily Gold, was one of the most recognizable faces on hardcore Pawn. Born in 1978, since the late 1970s. When the show premiered on True TV in 2010, she quickly became a breakout star, not for smooth deals, but for her fiery clashes with her brother Seth and her father Les. Viewers either loved her sharp comebacks or hated her confrontational style, but she kept people watching. By 2014, however, the tension spilled beyond entertainment. On-screen arguments turned into real family rifts, and many fans felt heartbroken when rumors surfaced that Ashley was stepping away from the business.
The reality TV chaos of hardcore Pawn, Ashley Gold is something more. Tonight, this local woman talks motherhood, her new business, and why she had to walk away from the spotlight.
Her eventual departure was never officially called a resignation, but her absence was clear, and it felt like the end of an era for the Gold family dynamic. Loyal viewers described it as a career death, the moment when hardcore Pawn lost one of its most polarizing but magnetic characters. Though Ashley later pursued other ventures, including appearances on local Detroit media, her exit from the pawn shop world left a void that fans never forgot. Her exit left a hole in the family, yet which beloved staffer's fate would haunt fans forever? Number 7. Karen Civil. For every fan who tuned in to hardcore Pawn between 2010 and 2015, the Gold family was the stars, but the background staff gave the show its heartbeat. Among them was Karen Civil, one of the employees, frequently seen behind the counters at American Jewelry and Loan's flagship store on Greenfield Road in Detroit. Unlike Les, Seth, or Ashley, Karen wasn't thrust into the spotlight. Yet her sharp eye for deals and quick humor made her stand out to regular viewers. Then, without warning, she and several other staff members disappeared from episodes after season 6, which aired in 2014. No explanation was offered on air, leaving fans confused and worried. Detroit locals whispered that layoffs hit the store hard as the business restructured, while online forums speculated that firings were staged for drama. By 2015, when truTV announced the show's cancellation after 9 seasons, many fans assumed the worst about staff like Karen: rumors of illness, financial ruin, even death. While there are no official reports confirming tragedy, familiar faces suddenly going missing carried the weight of a loss. When staff members vanished without a word, who would become the face of betrayal? Number 6. Rich Pyle. Rich Pyle wasn't just an employee at American Jewelry and Loan. He was the guy fans rooted for. Working as a floor manager, he became a fixture from the very first season of Hardcore Pawn in 2010. With his long hair, quick wit, and easy way of dealing with both customers and chaos, Rich stood out as the bridge between the Gold family's fiery clashes. But in 2012, during season 6, everything changed. In one of the show's most talked-about moments, Les Gold fired Rich on camera after a heated disagreement about how business was being handled. The scene shocked viewers across the country. For fans, it felt like betrayal, the death of trust, as many called it on message boards at the time. Rich wasn't just an employee, he was part of the family the audience had grown attached to. After his firing, Pyle tried to reinvent himself, dabbling in local Detroit projects and even launching a short-lived music venture. Yet steady work in television never came his way again. His sudden, very public exit left fans mourning the loss of one of the show's most relatable figures, proof that reality TV fame can vanish as quickly as it arrives. But losing Rich was just the beginning. So which tragedy would hit even harder? Number 5. Lily Gold. While Les, Seth, and Ashley carried most of the spotlight on Hardcore Pawn, longtime fans knew that the heart of the Gold family was Lily, Les's wife. Married since 1975, Lily helped build American Jewelry and Loan from its early days on Michigan Avenue, before the business moved to its now famous Greenfield Road location in Detroit in 1993. Although she rarely appeared on camera, her presence was felt in nearly every decision. Employees often described her as the calm behind the storm, the one who kept the family grounded when tensions between Les, Seth, and Ashley boiled over during filming. By 2013, as the show's popularity soared, whispers began spreading online about Lily's health. As the seasons went on, viewers couldn't help but notice that Lily appeared less and less. Many assumed she stepped back because of health problems. The family never spoke about it, giving more room for speculation. In a show built on constant arguments and wild moments, Lily was the steady hand. Her absence wasn't just noticed, it felt like something vital had gone missing. Detroit, the kind of arrest that no one saw coming. Number 4. Staffer arrests.
Mark, Katie, police have been investigating this pawn shop for more than a year. There are still investigators going in and out of those front doors. They say that the same group of people has been walking through those front doors reselling stolen items.
Hardcore Pawn thrived on the wild energy of Detroit's American Jewelry and Loan, but not every staff member walked away from the show unscathed. While the Gold family became household names, several lesser-known employees found themselves in the headlines for all the wrong reasons once the cameras stopped rolling. In 2011, Detroit police reports surfaced linking a former shop clerk to stolen merchandise outside the store. sparking rumors that on-screen drama had spilled into real life. 2 years later, in 2013, another staffer was arrested during a traffic stop on 8 Mile Road for outstanding warrants. Though their names were never highlighted on the series, word spread quickly in fan forums, with some local news outlets briefly covering the arrests. For viewers who had come to recognize these employees from the background of episodes, the scandals felt like a betrayal. But the real heartbreak wasn't just in the shop. How did the city itself play a role? Number 3. American jewelry and loan. For millions of viewers, Hardcore Pawn wasn't just about the Gold family. It was about the store itself. American Jewelry and Loan, located on Greenfield Road in Detroit, became the beating heart of the series from 2010 to 2015. The massive 50,000-square-foot shop welcomed nearly 1,000 customers a day at the height of the show's popularity, turning it into a landmark that tourists traveled from as far as Ohio and Illinois just to see. But behind the scenes, the Gold family experimented with expansion. Between 2011 and 2013, they opened satellite branches in Pontiac and Hazel Park, hoping to replicate the Detroit success story. When those branches quietly shut down by 2014, fans took it personally. Online forums buzzed with posts calling the closures the death of Hardcore Pawn itself. To many, the store wasn't just a pawn shop. It was the main character, the gritty stage where Detroit's struggles and resilience played out. Without that larger-than-life empire, the mythology of Hardcore Pawn felt smaller, and fans sensed the final curtain was already being drawn. When Detroit's struggles deepened, what final blow sealed the fate of American Jewelry and Loan? Number 2. Detroit struggles. One of the unspoken characters in Hardcore Pawn was the city of Detroit itself. When the show premiered in 2010, the city was already in deep decline. Unemployment hovered near 15%, and entire neighborhoods were scarred by abandoned houses. American Jewelry and Loan, located on Greenfield Road just off 8 Mile, became a mirror of that hardship. Customers often walked in not just to pawn jewelry or electronics, but to put food on the table or pay rent. Some of the show's most memorable faces were everyday Detroiters caught in desperate circumstances. In 2012, a local father who appeared in an episode trying to sell his tools was later reported to have lost his home to foreclosure. Others, who came in pledging to turn their lives around, were later rumored to have fallen back into cycles of addiction. For viewers, it was heartbreaking. What looked like drama on television was real-life survival off-screen. The tragedy wasn't scripted. The people whose struggles played out for entertainment often faced even darker realities once the cameras stopped rolling, reminding fans that Detroit's story was as raw and painful as any family feud inside the Gold's pawn shop. By then, fans could feel it. The empire was slipping, but how close was the end, really? Number 1. Hardcore Pawn. By most watched series, regularly pulling in over 2 million viewers per episode at its peak. American Jewelry and Loan on Greenfield Road became the stage for Detroit's raw stories. Week after week, the show pulled viewers into heated family arguments, tense bargaining, and the everyday struggles of a city trying to hold on. So when truTV announced it was pulling the plug, fans were furious. Social media lit up with people calling it the death of reality's wildest pawn shop dynasty. To many, it wasn't just another cancellation. It felt like losing a piece of Detroit's identity. The Golds went back to business off-camera, but without the screaming matches, the walkouts, and the unforgettable characters, television just felt quieter. The end of Hardcore Pawn showed that some shows don't just pass the time. They stamp themselves into culture, and when they vanish, they leave a hole that never really closes. If Hardcore Pawn ever made a comeback, would you be tuning in? Or should its wild legacy stay where it is, in Detroit's past? Let us know what you think. Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.